back to Read and Roam. I'm your host, Kayla, and today we're back for another bookish video. Today we will be doing the mid-year book of Freakout tag, originally created by Is That Chammy and Earl Grey Books. While I'm freaking out that 2026 is already halfway over, I'm going to be answering 13 bookish questions while I'm at it. So let's get to it. Question number 1, what's the best book you've read so far in 2026? And that book is going to be Retribution Rails by Erin Bowman. I am so glad I finally picked this book back up and finished it. This is the second book in a YA companion duology, which you can read this book without reading the first one, but there are some characters that appear in the first one that appear in this one as well. This book talks about Reese Murphy, who is a part of the Rose Rider gang, and he is searching for his freedom. And that's when he crossed paths with Charlotte, an aspiring journalist, through a botched train robbery. And he thinks that she can be his ticket to freedom. And I am in such a big Western era right now. This is my Western girl era this year because I am still madly obsessed with Red Dead Redemption 2 and just trying to read as many Western books as possible. But this one I rated 4.5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was great. And if you're looking to spice up what you're reading, I would highly recommend trying out some YA Western books, specifically Vengeance Road and Retribution Rails. Question number 2, best sequel you've read so far in 2026. And that sequel is going to be The Rack Pack, The Prince and the Pauper by Stephanie Cook and illustrated by Whitney Gardner. In this sequel, the Binns family has their eyes and also their stomachs set on the pet expo that's happening in town. Dusty ends up meeting his doppelganger, who is this social media star, famous raccoon, and they decide to swap places, but is the trash really greener on the other side? I thought this was a fun sequel, and it's the best that I've read so far in 2026. Question number 3, a new release you haven't read yet but want to. This book also isn't out yet, but I want to read Catsternaut. Module Mayhem. This is book number 8 in the series by Drew Brackington. I love these little cats on their little astronaut adventures, and I love all the little cat puns throughout the book. Even though the book hasn't come out yet, I am still anticipating reading this new release. Question number 4, most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I was so excited when this was announced. It's either going to be like the best book or it could be the worst book. I'm really hoping for the best book, and that is The Sixth Faction by Veronica Roth. I am so excited to dive back into the Divergent world, and I'm hoping this is going to be really good. I'm also scared it might be bad, but after the end of Allegiant, how bad could it really be? But I am here for this resurgence of like 2012, 2014 YA dystopian books. I'm excited. Can't wait to grab my hands on this. Question number 5, biggest disappointment of 2026 so far. I am so excited for this question because the biggest disappointment of this year thus far is The Betrayed by Kiera Cass. Yes, it is a bargain book, and yes, it should be a bargain book for that reason. This is the second book in a duology, and this book was god-awful, and the more that I think about it, it reminds me of like Game of Thrones and like the ending of Game of Thrones. Like, we came all this way for this ending. Like, this ending was atrocious. Like, half the book is lollygagging. The second half is when it gets like fun and interesting, but then it just doesn't deliver, and this was such a disappointment. I rated this book 1.5 out of 5 stars, and I think this is probably going to be my worst book that I've read this year. Question number 6, biggest surprise of 2026 so far, which is The Betrayed by Kiera Cass. I know what you're thinking. Like, I read The Betrayed, the second book, and thought it was awful and horrible, but the first one did very much surprise me. I was spoiled for the ending. I was a little bit bummed about being spoiled, but I still enjoyed myself, and I knew going into this, like, my expectations are very low. It's a Kiera Cass book. It's gonna be quick, it's gonna be fun, and I'm probably not gonna enjoy it, but I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I think I rated this at 3.5 out of 5 stars. Like, we got love triangles, we got instant love, we got, this book was a mess, but the ending was so much fun. I was very shocked that I enjoyed this book so much. Question number 7, favorite new author, new to you or debut? And that author is going to be Debbie Fong, who wrote The Faraway Forest, Wally's Route. This book is absolutely adorable. I love it so much. There are some great lessons that children can learn while reading this book, and I think that's why it has a special little place in my heart. Gorgeous illustrations and a good message. Question number 8, newest fictional crush. I have not developed any fictional crush this year besides Arthur Morgan, but that's video games and not books. However, I can tell you I did not develop any sort of fictional crush in the betrothed duology. I can tell you that right now. I don't really have a fictional crush from this year so far. Question number 9, newest favorite character, and it's gonna have to be Wally. Like, look at this little guy. He is so adorable. I love him so much. Question number 10, a book that made you cry. This book didn't make me cry. It takes a lot for me to cry over a book. And the last couple of times I've cried while reading a book, which was Allegiant back in 2014. And then as of recent, it was Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. Like, those are the last 2 books that I cried over, and I really cried in Sunrise on the Reaping. This book had a sad ending, but it didn't make me cry, but it still gets mentioned anyways. The Shootist by Glendon Swarthout. This book talks about John, who is a gunfighter, and he has to face his most important battle of all time, and that is death. So the entire book is not a happy, fun read. It is sad, it is somber, but didn't make me cry, but is still like a sad book. Question number 11, a book that made you happy. And that's gonna have to be Frankenstein by Ludwurst Bee Monster. And this is a parody of Madeline. And it was funny, it was cute, it made me smile, it gave me a good chuckle after I was done reading it, and definitely made me happy. Question number 12, most beautiful book you bought or received this year. The most beautiful book that I bought so far this year is An Illustrated History of Ghosts by Adam Boardman. Even though the cover is pretty simple, I just love the art style, the artwork, the illustrations. I am here for it. And then when you open it up, it just gets so beautiful. Like, look at these end pages. They're so much fun. The illustrations are just fun and enjoyable. And to me, this is like the most beautiful book thus far that I've bought. You could say that like a cover like The Betrothed, like, yeah, this is really pretty. I also didn't buy it this year. But I really like the simplicity and the beauty in this book. And lastly, question number 13, what are the books that you need to read by the end of the year? These are 3 books that I hope to read before the end of 2026. And the one that I'm currently reading is definitely like, I pick up, I read a couple of like little short stories and then I put it back down. And that book is The 50 States of Murder, an Atlas of American Crime. And I picked this book up and I was like, wow, this is actually like a fun book. So you open it up, I'll get my bookmark out of there. So we have like the state of Arkansas, and it includes all 50 states of the United States. And there's different cities where these crimes have happened. And then there's like pictures, and then there's the story. And then if you flip it to the next page, we have like The Villainous Vest and A Hilltop Hill. I just think it is an interesting read so far, even though I'm only on the state of Arkansas. But I know this book is going to take a little bit longer for me to get through, just because I like picking it up and like, oh, I read this and I read this. Okay, I'm done with this state. I'm going to put it down, and then I pick it back up whenever. So I'm hoping to finish this by the end of the year. Next up is a book that I recently purchased, and I'm so excited to continue on with this YA dystopian trilogy. That is Frozen by Aaron Bowman. And this is the second book in the Taken trilogy. Yay! I'm excited to see where this story goes. The first book talks about these boys being taken at the ripe age of like 17 or 18, and they get taken, they poof, they vanish, and nobody knows what happens to them. But they're all surrounded by this wall, and whoever goes over the wall never comes back. They end up dead. And I'm excited to see where the story continues. And the last book that I want to read by the end of 2026, which is a reread, which I rarely do. I rarely reread books, but this is the exception to the rule because I want to reread this before the movie comes out, and that is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. I loved this book so much, and I cried so much during this book. But I really want to reread it before the movie comes out and compare the book to the movie adaptation. But anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have any anticipated releases that you're excited to get to towards the end of this year, or what are some books that you need to finish by the end of 2026. Let me know in the comment section down below, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I will see you next time for a new bookish video.